Welcome back to the SportsView. I'm Sherita.
And I'm DelseyD.
And we're here with Miss Qiana Martin. So we're going to talk a little more. You said you played overseas. So do you think there are better opportunities for women that are playing soccer in the U.S. to probably play overseas?
I think there are more opportunities because soccer is embraced elsewhere a little bit more than it is here in the United States.
That's true.
So there are other leagues where after you are over the age of, for instance, 18, you can go and play consistently in other leagues, and they have some form of payment in those leagues. Here in the U.S., although the Women's Professional Soccer League is paying, and it's considered the premier league in the world, they're still trying to get their financial footing. There's some legalities going on, so they're actually on a hiatus. So that leaves a lot of players kind of, trying to scramble and find new contracts elsewhere.
So you talked about living for 2 weeks with a Brazilian family, and then you went overseas after that. So do you think that's a good opportunity for younger kids that's coming up, or especially kids in high school, to try to find family that does that? Because I know with other sports they do it, but learning from, especially when it's coming from overseas, the training and stuff that they have, do you think they should look for opportunities like that?
Definitely. I think it gives you, a different perspective on not just the sport, but on how other people live in their cultures. Also, it helps you with culture shock. Because when you move into a different environment, new language, new people, new customs, naturally you're going to be apprehensive and fearful and trying to figure all of these things out, and it can be overwhelming. You'll see that happen a lot with basketball players who immediately transition overseas, and they haven't had that opportunity maybe to kind of step into the culture a little bit, to kind of get an understanding, to know what they're getting into. So I would suggest for any player, any family that's considering sending their child, whether it's to go train for 2 weeks overseas, to see if they can have some sort of culture experience to help them kind of bridge the gap between going from the U.S. to somewhere else.
That's a good idea.
Okay, let's talk about your Fila ad. So you're a spokesman for Fila.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, I happened to be in Los Angeles doing some training with a Argentinian soccer coach, and I was telling one of my best friends, I said, you know what, I need another opportunity to kind of spread the message of soccer. For me, eating and breathing soccer means trying to plug soccer in different avenues without not necessarily bombarding people with the soccer ball. So I felt like the Fila opportunity was once again yet another way for people to see, oh, here's a soccer player doing a fitness ad, and then people start to ask questions and vice versa, whether it's about fitness or that I could promote the sport of soccer. And so I happened to be reading a Twitter feed one day that they were looking for inspirational spokesmodels.
Oh, wow.
And a week later, I was in New York shooting with a celebrity photographer and ended up in Touch Weekly.
Wow.
So it's been an amazing experience.
Well, we know that you do that, and there's so many other things out there. So when we come back, we'll talk about all the other things you do that you don't just have to focus on that sport, but with that sport or anything else, you could branch out and get the word out. So we'll be right back and get all those answers when we come back.